Okay, great. And then, okay, let me know if you can see this on your end. Can you see this screen?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. All right. Well, hello everyone. I can't see you. I wish I could be there in person. I'm currently in Virginia right now. So, Professor was kind enough to reach out and ask me to come speak to you guys about NFTs. To give you some context, last semester, Professor Hamid agreed to take on a directed study with me. And during that directed study, I did 50-50. So I was learning about Web 2, which I'm doing this summer, which I'll get more in about in a second here, which I'm doing cloud computing stuff. And then the other part of it was Web 3.0. So I was learning more about NFTs. I was getting experience with different, crypto things. And I was also working for an NFT company. So we'll just get right into it. Here's like an outline of what I'll go over today. So I'll first start out giving a little bit about me, go, what's in it for you today, a little NFT introduction, talk about my experience with Blockchain Miners Club, like I mentioned before, the crypto company I was working for. I'll give you guys some insight on some notable projects that I'm looking at. And then JIT World, which is currently the project that I'm working on, my personal project, and then I'll open it up to questions. Before I start, just like preface this, like this is supposed to be like an interactive session, and I want you guys to get the most out of this. So if you have any questions, like feel free to just like, blur them out, like, no hesitation there. I'm here for you guys. So willing, happy, happy to answer whatever. So getting right into it. A little bit about myself so you guys can get some context about me. That's me right there. I do go to Clark University. I'm going into my senior year right now, and I am looking to do the fifth year program. So cross my fingers that all works out, and I should be hearing soon. I'm from Massachusetts, Salisbury, Massachusetts. It's North Shore, small little beach town. So I love the beach. With that, I do play lacrosse here at Clark too. So, love getting active with it with the guys when I can. And then as far as work goes, so like I said, I'm in Virginia right now. I'm working with Amazon, Amazon Web Services. And I'm a sales intern right now. So I'm selling their cloud computing software. And with that, put the NFT picture there as, I'm passionate about Web3 and love the idea of NFTs and exploring around. So next slide here. So what's in it for you? My goal, like I said before, is just to pique your NFT curiosity through sharing my experience in the industry and showcasing some cool projects within the space. A disclaimer here, I'm in no way an NFT or blockchain expert. I'm only, here to share my experience, and nothing in this presentation is financial advice. And always do your own research. I think this comes at an interesting time in the market where, crypto is down, exponentially here. And I think a lot of people were, expecting this to happen. So it's curious, as, people looking into the market, it's curious to see like where this will go and how deep it will go down until we see kind of an uptick here. But yeah, so I'll just get right into it. So my NFT introduction, as I said, always do your own research. And I think that when I look back on when I first started in the NFT space, it was a totally different, market. So October 22nd, 2021 at 5:56 p.m., I went back, I pulled up the logs and went on the Ether scan and looked it up. So it was Social Snake Society. I put a picture in right there. That was my social snake. And it was classified as what you guys might know as a rug pull or more or less a scam. So I put this in here because I really wanted to emphasize the importance of doing your own research. And I think, we're past this stage in the market, in the NFT market, where most people, know that they need to have like a roadmap. They need to have like a docs team, or, the team needs to be forward facing, and you should have their like LinkedIn and stuff. You should understand like who the person is that you're buying from. But when it was this early on in the market, it was at a point where people were just kind of dishing out projects. You kind of got paid to be on social media. So this one was on World Star, which is, a common kind of younger person target market, audience, and it went viral. And so me and two buddies kind of bought into that, and we were like, maybe this will, pump to the moon, and we can be able to like, sell when it's high. So, with that, I just want to preface that many of these NFT projects are going to go to zero, and you should always, proceed with caution and take this story as, someone ride it a learning experience, and just know, we're so early in this whole thing, and that, there's a lot of things to be done, and there's a lot of cool things that are happening in the space right now, but take it with a grain of salt and just know, like I said, we are so early, and that, every day people are discovering, new things, and, new exploits are coming out in the space, and people are, taking advantage of different things. So like I said, keep your head in a swivel. Know what you need. Like I wrote here. So like having a roadmap is very important for a project, having a docs team where you know what you're getting, and having clear, people who are forward facing, just so like, if this goes crashing down, like, their reputation is on the line here. So it almost gives the project more of a reputation, and that they have to fulfill that. So that's the first slide here. I'll move on to the Blockchain Miners Club. So after I had that kind of incident with the social snake, I was definitely discouraged, but it was almost like, in talking with a lot of these people in the NFT space, it's, my way of, paying for my education. I mean, a lot of us, we go to Clark here, we're paying to get educated. In this space, that was kind of my learning experience. And I didn't let it, discourage me too much. And I thought, I'm still like very early, I need to experience something else. So here was when the Blockchain Miners Club, became on my radar. It was the first project that I could understand why someone would buy an NFT. And this was, I eventually would work for them, which I'll get more into, but it was something where, so they have a bunch of these NFTs. They have, as you can see here, the OG collection is on the bottom here. So they have 1,111 NFTs to start out with. And the whole goal and the mission here, as I'll read it off right here, is the mission of BMC is to reduce the barrier of entry to crypto mining by bridging utility to the NFT space and allowing our club members exclusive access to mining crypto. So in short, the whole thesis of this project was they would use the profits from those 11,111 NFTs, and they would buy Bitcoin miners in real life. And what would happen is, you being a holder of those NFTs would have access to those crypto mining, not only the miners, but also the rewards that come with those miners. So each month, they're bringing out, or they're, getting crypto. So you would have access to that Bitcoin. So like I said here, just going through the bullets. So mint profits will go into the BTC miners. It makes the project sustainable over time. So, every month these, Bitcoin miners are, accumulating income, whereas a lot of these NFT projects will, a lot of their profits come from the secondary sales, which, most of these, when they sell on OpenSea or a lot of these common marketplaces, they make like 5% every transaction that's made off like a buy or sell from different holders and people acquiring different NFTs. So it makes this project unique in the sense that they always have additional source of income coming in. And there's a lot of things that will come with that. I'll get more into how the profit is distributed, but in the beginning, they said that 50% of all the mining rewards that come from the Bitcoin mining will go into a community rewards wallet. And being a holder, I would have access to that community rewards wallet. And then I would also vote each month through a thing called Snapshot. So I'd basically sign in with my wallet. I would, it would verify how many NFTs I have. One NFT equals one vote. So if I had like 100 NFTs, I would get 100 votes. And I would get to vote on what that outcome would be for that month. So notoriously, with the project's mission and everything like that, and a lot of people getting behind that, every single month, they just, added more miners. So all the profits that were allocated or, were acquired, would just go right back into buying more Bitcoin miners, and that would just stack over time. The ideology behind that is more or less just, once this market like this comes in and, we're in such a downtrend, we'll keep acquiring. And then once it goes on an uptick, there'll be, it'll be great. And then it's always an option for holders to get profits from those miners. So once we have, what the community deems is enough, and we will vote, and the majority vote always wins, that we can, at some point cash out. And then every holder will get a certain percentage based on their NFT holdings of that profit distribution. So we'll get a little bit more in here. So this is to give you a little bit more context on Blockchain Miners Club. So these guys right here, I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, but Pat and Brandon are in the picture here. And then the two people in the back, Blockchain Boy and another person, I'm blanking on his name right now. They're both influencers in the space. I don't watch the other person, but Blockchain Boy is someone who's definitely he's an active person in the space and always putting out content. So he's there for that. And then Mike is more the operations person. So he's facilitating a lot of these mining actions, but more or less they partnered with Alloy and Energy X, and their mining equipment is in Canada, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. And the way this is kind of done is through them. So they facilitate a lot of these things. And transitioning to this corner here, what other perks you get. So not only do you get access to these, profits that are being accumulated through the Bitcoin mining, but you also have access to different things outside of that. So these are some of the ideas that they had to continuously, give to the community and make it, more of an incentive for holders to hold their NFTs. So one of these was the BAM program. So the BAM program was a buy a miner program. So BMC would, with them buying so many of these Bitcoin miners, they, obviously get a discount because they're buying in bulk. So what comes with that is they will give, people like us, everyday people, the ability to buy Bitcoin miners at a discount. So if I was to go out and buy a Bitcoin miner right now, I mean, to just host it at my house would be a lot of money, but just to buy the Bitcoin miner would be, upwards of $20,000 or something like that. It would be, pretty insane, and something that, not everyday people like us just have laying around to just throw at something. So it was their opportunity to not only get miners out at a discount, but also what they would do is they'll host the miners for you. So you can, through their partners, Alloy or EnergyX, you can host your miner with them. They'll take a small fee of your profits each month, and then you will get to ultimately keep those profits. And these Bitcoin miners last, years and years on end. So by the time, you're doing that, you don't have to pay any of the maintenance. So it's just a win-win both ways. I haven't participated in the miner program. I want to preface that, but I know a lot of people who have, and they, really enjoy it. And it's been a huge vocal point of the project. Now, the next part that you'll see there is the hash power. So hash for hash power. Hash is their native token. And speaking to Professor, I'm pretty sure you guys have gotten to that point where you know how to, make a token now. I think you guys are used Solana. This is on Ethereum, but more or less that's their native coin. They introduced this in the beginning. And what they did with that is every holder will get to accumulate, they'll get free airdrops of this hash token. So hash being for hash power, which, the hash power is what the Bitcoin miner uses to, accumulate this Bitcoin. But regardless, hash is the name of their native token. And that will, like I said, be airdropped to every holder. And through that, every month they will do a, rent a miner similar to the buy a miner program, but you'll use your hash power for that. So your hash token, I'm sorry. So you can, use all this hash that you're accumulating through holding your NFTs. And just by holding the NFT, you can, in theory, get access to a buyer miner program without really spending any more money. You're just accumulating, this hash through your NFTs that you own. So a really creative concept, and it more or less, incentivizes people to continuously to hold these NFTs. And that's obviously a huge vocal point for them, because, the more, loyal they can make this community, the more benefits they see from that. Of course, that they do things here and there to spike sales, and we'll go into that as we get more into the next slides here. But that's just this, through this program, that was their goal, is to, make some loyal community holders. Now, going to the club rewards here, right in the bottom left, you'll see kind of all the earnings that were, so this was in December, this was March 2022. So obviously this is, a little bit outdated, but at that point there was 122.4 Ethereum accumulated and 6.81 Bitcoin. So as you guys can tell here, this project's generated, well over $1 million. They have, I think almost, if not, I think they have almost $3 million now in Bitcoin mining assets. So just the Bitcoin miners themselves. And every month, this project's pumping out hundreds of thousands of dollars. Obviously, that's not going to any one particular holder. That's, going to the community rewards wallet. And like I said before, they have, tens, it's 1,111 potentially owners. That's obviously reduced and changing every day. But still, it's a lot of money that they're managing, and it's gotten to the point now, and it's just crazy to see it grow, and especially being there from the start. So I, mentioned before, I did work for them. I got to experience this all from the start. So I was on early in November of 2021. That was when the launch kind of first started. And from there, I just got to experience all of this. And then this was all through, so you can see here the BTC mining, 100% of the mining will go into this. And then the 60% of royalties will also go into the Ethereum section here. And then, voting would be either on distributions to holders or to buy more miners, as I mentioned before. Now, going over to this top slide here, just briefly, This is kind of just their goal and projected hash power that they can get from their miners. So obviously, the more hash power they have, the more profits they can get over time. If I can get here. Okay, so here we go. So I mentioned before about the hash token. So as they're continuing to think, they're trying to figure out what more utility can they bring to this token. So this is when the play to mine game was born. So I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with the NFT space. I'm not really, I didn't get briefed too much on your guys' level in the space, but it's very common for a lot of these projects to come with like a play to earn game. So that's like a very, title catching line is all these NFTs will, they try to sell out a project and then they try to sell out a different asset and then they have their coin and then they try to make like a play to earn game. And then the play to earn game, it's really, there's not real utility behind it. This is the point I'm trying to get at. It's a lot of it just, more of a money grab for them. And then the more money they have, they can hopefully, build some like real utility. But a lot of them, it just ends up being like merch or something like that. And it's not something where they can just, give out money, because that's another thing they have to be careful about is, giving out money in this space, that's a security under, the jurisdiction that we have now. So it's hard for them to kind of figure that out. And, BMC, Blockchain Miners Club, is still trying to figure that out and how they can go about that. But this, play to mine program is where they can, really make an impact with that, because it's all rewards based. So kind of diving a little bit deeper here. So their whole goal is the mission to Mars. So you will get an additional NFT, which you'll see here. The hash droids arrive in 526. So this has already came out. I will preface that I do have some hash droids. I got that part of the thing. So how they did it is the prepare to leave Earth phase 1 was them just announcing what was going on, what was going to happen. Then they released these rocket passes. So the rocket pass, if you had a rocket pass, one was given per NFT to all, holders of the NFT. You would get this rocket pass and it would give you an automatic mint, or, you'd be able to automatically buy one of these hash droids. So these hash droids would then be your in-game character for the game. So you would be able to use these hash droids, and you would be able to then, in theory, a lot of this is phase 2 hasn't started yet. So we're at hash droids now. So I'll start with that. You'll be able to use these hash droids and use it in this game. And through the game, you'll use your Hash Valley land. So the land sale hasn't begun yet, like I said, but that's going to happen soon. And you use these hash droids on that land to then use your miners, which you bought in the previous OG collection. And then you'll be able to mine Bitcoin through that. Again, it's kind of a complicated thing. They have like a whole YouTube video that I can send out if you're curious. It's like a 30-minute long video. It goes over their history from start to finish and where the lookout is for the next few years. But it's definitely a cool concept and something that's brand new to the ecosystem. So this is the first play to mine game of its kind that, I'm aware of, and something that's at this level. They've gotten a lot of great feedback from, pretty high powered individuals in the space. One outlet that I'll name in particular that I love is it's WAGMI Studios. So it's WGMI. It's We Are Gonna Make It Studios. It's built by NFT, connoisseurs themselves, people who at the beginning were, very forward facing in the space, and they started this media company through NFTs. So it's a cool concept there as well, and they're always looking at different projects like that, and they've been, vocalizing how Blockchain Miners Club is, one of their kind of projects of their like top priority, and something that they can, they think will last over time. Going into phase 3 here, I'll touch briefly on it. So the upgrade center, the mining lab, and the marketplace, these are just more ways to incorporate different things within the game. These games, this is not something that will just be built in like a day. This takes, weeks and years to fully, come to life. But it's a starting point and something that, they're taking kind of concepts from other projects. So like the upgrade center. So it would be common for a different NFT project to come out with, like I said, additional NFTs. And then you can go on their website and fuse the additional NFT you have to your NFT you have now. And you'll get essentially like an upgraded NFT. So it's cool that you can always, edit these contracts and you can do different things with them. But like I said, that would in correlation have something to do with this game. you mine that Bitcoin, and then you obviously get access to that Bitcoin through this game. Similar with the mining lab, having potions through your NFT and changing it through that, and the marketplace being able to buy and sell through them, and them having kind of full control of their own market. I'll go into the next slide here. This is the last slide on BMC. This is just the dashboard of what it will look like. So in terms of how the game will actually look at this point, it's not going to be a game where, it's not like a Minecraft or one of these like interactive, games where you're going around like that. And they did that on purpose because, we all have lives. We all can't just like sit on Discord or sit on Twitter all day and look at NFTs as much as, some people would like to. So this game allows you to just kind of check in. You see here, like Bitcoin earned, hash power you're putting out, total earnings over time. You really can just get a quick snapshot of what it will actually, what you're doing in the game. And you see your assets here. So you stake your assets and you get certain hash power with that. So again, this is a lot to kind of throw at you guys, and just it's hard to explain this in a few minutes. But like I said, I can always share this YouTube video that goes into more in depth, and they do a great job of kind of outlining, how this all works and how it plays in. But really just a quick snapshot, like I said, of how it all works, and, just a cool concept that I thought I would share. And, I really did enjoy working for them, and I do believe in the people behind them. But as I said before, always, do your own research. I'll get into the next slide here. So these are just notable projects that, have come on my radar. So I first want to preface that right here on the right is how OpenSea, defines, different projects and, puts them in different categories. So OpenSea, if you guys aren't familiar with, I'm sure you are, is more or less just an NFT marketplace where you can buy and sell NFTs. They're notoriously, one of the biggest players in the space. There, is a ton of different marketplaces where you can buy and sell. FTX being a very popular one. I'm sure you guys, have seen all the commercials that they've been coming out with, especially with their new arena. So yeah, I just, I thought I would preface that before I kind of go into depth here. So these different projects that I listed are, a full range of different categories. So I could have gone, I could have listed a bunch within just like kind of these, Bored Ape Yacht Club or CryptoPunks, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with. So more of like a profile picture type NFT where you get access to like an exclusive club. But I kind of wanted to give a more well-rounded verse into the NFT space. So I'll just go through the list here. So Timepiece Photo. This is with Time Magazine. So, with a huge outlet where you can more or less get access to, not only different covers, but, different photos within the thing. So I thought that was a really cool concept. With the NBA, you get access to these, dynamic NFTs or what they're calling it. So essentially you get access to the modern day, card that you would buy. So, think of like basketball cards, and you buy basketball cards of a player. It's just kind of, there, and, it's been a market for a long time. But with these, and a cool concept that the NBA is doing is over time, these NFTs are going to change. So, the Celtics are on right now. I'm hoping you guys are cheering them on as I am. Jason Tatum, going to be an awesome player in the future, as, we all hope and we all think, I'm pretty sure is, his card, his NFT will be able to change over time as he changes. So, he, has an awesome year. I'm sure his value of his NFT is going to go up. And this is the first time where it's going to make these kind of outlets like, trading cards a lot easier, since it's just all online. There's a digital footprint for everything. Everything's tracked. And it's just a cool concept that they can do over time. And I'm crazy to, interested to see how this is going to, adapt and change the industry into what we know it today. So going off that, Murakami Flowers, I'll just kind of fly through these quick. That's just an artist. He's a popular artist. He's with, this logo itself is what he's kind of made his brand around, but he also is working with Nike. NFKT is the Nike collaboration that he did with them, and it's a huge project. It's again on OpenSea. You guys can look it up. I'm happy to share anything. But yeah, so again, going off that, Ethereum name service. This is the name service that Ethereum has, where you can essentially get domains. So think of kind of like the www bubble here. So this is just getting access to domains on Ethereum, and this is popular. So the most notorious ones being like 3-letter domains. So, like, yeah, it's .eth. So it'd be like wow.eth, or like, my name's John.eth. So anything like that. What we kind of, think of it as today is the .com. So it's just .eth. So that's a cool kind of concept. You can change your wallet to that too. So it has some kind of a value as, our wallets get more integrated to a lot of these things. Going off to that, I picked Mavia Land. So Mavia Land is essentially doing a Clash of Clans styled concept, and Mavia is doing, obviously they're making it own, but it's essentially just like a Clash of Clans, ripoff. I'll be honest. And it's just their whole thing is that it will be fully crypto based. So, they'll have their native coin, all the assets will be NFTs. And it just makes more power to the players essentially. So you can just, and nowadays when you build up this account, you spend hours in the game, you can just sell your profile. Whereas before you would, have to go on like eBay or something like that and have like a sketchy kind of, transaction. Whereas this kind of just mitigates that through the power of NFTs. And, not only that, their native coin, you accumulate this native coin, people may be willing to buy that, coin, not even playing the game really, they just want the coin. And that will have value in itself. So, cool concept there. Going next to LinksDAO. LinksDAO is a concept where they sold these NFTs and they bought, golf courses. So this is kind of going off the play in the space where you buy these NFTs and you get access to, real life land or something like that. So it's common, that people will buy, they'll sell the NFTs and they'll buy a house or something like that. And then, it'll be like a timeshare type of thing where you can, rent the house through your NFT, stuff like that. This is similar. LinksDAO, instead they did a golf course concept. So the golf course would then, you'd be able to just get free, golf whenever you want with the NFT. You just show your NFT, they verify that it's real on the blockchain, and you more or less just get access. So I thought that was pretty cool. Going on the next one, Solana Monkey Business. With you guys being in, having experience somewhat in Solana, I thought it was important to mention them. They were kind of the real big player in Solana at the start. And I might be wrong with this, but I think they were one of the first ones on the Solana blockchain, but I could be wrong about that. But regardless, there is, extremely powerful people in this community. It's similar to the Bored Ape Yacht Club in the sense that it's kind of like a profile picture type project. And it just, it's just a really cool community to get into. And going off that, we'll go into pre-mint now. So pre-mint is a concept where you'll see these alpha groups. So these alpha groups are people that kind of are giving out information and trying to make their community, money more or less through NFTs. So kind of giving you, insight on what big NFTs will be coming out. They'll also have, in holding a pre-mint, you'll be able to get access to different collections and get, whitelist spots is what they call it. So more or less, getting on the list to automatically buy these NFTs or mint these NFTs is what they would say. Just another cool concept there. Really a lot of these I have, in a different alpha, you can say alpha NFTs in terms of, that just give out, project information and give you a rundown. Mine personally, that the one I own is called the Nfd. It's a really cool community similar to pre-mint. Pre-mint is at a crazy price that I don't know if that would be in much of our price ranges, but it's a cool concept nonetheless. And it's interesting to see these different communities kind of, emerge that have, these, great information. I would then, preface that with saying, do your research and make sure that, these communities really do have that great knowledge and that they're well connected, because it can easily be turned into something that's not really that valuable. So going off that, the sandbox, I'm sure you guys are all pretty familiar with, Sandbox, Decentraland, a lot of these kind of metaverse plays that are, kind of trying to be the new kind of virtual world. So I want to throw that in there with that being kind of a different NFT play. So all the assets are, obviously sold and bought on OpenSea. And it's, again, just a cool project and cool to see kind of the Web3 space continue to just kind of see what they can do with these virtual worlds. I know Bored Ape Yacht Club recently came out with their new metaverse, and it's not officially out yet to everyone, but it's curious to see there with, Bored Ape having, the biggest IP in the space, I believe, and having the most backing. It'll be interesting to see what they come up with in terms of their metaverse and see if it competes with the sandbox. So the last one I wanted to go on to is Snoop Dogg. So an industry that I don't think is too, immersed within the NFT space is the music industry. I do think that the music industry will, see a great impact with NFTs in a variety of ways. And I've even noticed that in my work, my real work with Amazon, is a lot of these guys are transferring over and going into the Web 3.0 space, and specifically going into the music industry within the NFT space and seeing what they can do there. Snoop Dogg just being a pioneer within the space. I mean, he's always said from the beginning that he's a huge proponent of, the NFT space. And I think that he's someone, however you feel about him, he's definitely someone making waves in the space and, doing interesting things that, not many people have, even done before, or he's even, doing his own things that are brand new. So something that I thought I would throw out there, especially with, like I said, the music industry, I believe not necessarily fully tapped into yet. This next slide here is just, I went on OpenSea and I just screenshotted the top 30. I only could fit 30, as you can see, but the 30 projects, like I said, this market we're in is on a complete spiral down here. So a lot of these NFTs are not nearly as much as they were in the beginning. But going off that, I mean, like, Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? You can see, I don't know if you guys, it's too small for you, but 89 Ethereum. I mean, that's a good amount of money, even with the Ethereum price being down so low. It's just crazy to see like how much people are willing to spend on these NFTs, and how volatile they are. Like I said, I mean, this is going Decentraland, you'll see here like down 53% in 24 hours. I mean, that's crazy. Or you go over to Crypto Kitties at 17, going 1,784% in 24 hours. Like it's industry that's constantly it keeps you on your toes, but that's honestly what I love about it. But yeah, I just thought this would be cool to kind of add in here, and for you guys to see. You guys can look on OpenSea, it's easy to pull up kind of like the top earning projects, and this is by market cap. So these are what they have is the biggest market capitalization in the space now, and how much money they've earned over time. So definitely cool to see, and happy to share on different projects that you might be interested within that list. Ooh, I'll go back here. Okay, so now it brings me to my project. So as I mentioned before, I had a directed study with Professor, and he was kind enough to let me experience different parts of the NFT space. So while working with Blockchain Miners Club, I felt it was important for me to apply the skills that I've learned, not only for the directed study, but also, personally, just to get more experience within the space. So I was able to come up with what I call JIT World. So, I chose JIT as kind of the coin name for the project because I felt that, it was not only catchy, and it was definitely used by a lot of people. So I pulled over some of the definitions, being like, having its Florida roots, and a lot of rappers will say, JIT in their rap. But it also has, a concept where it's just in time. So I came from an operations background last summer. I worked with Amazon operations to begin with before, embarking on my sales role now. But it's a concept that I felt had, a lot of meanings, and it could, spike the community different ways, and it could target a different audience in multiple ways, depending on the marketing. So I liked that it had kind of this, dual threat meaning in a lot of ways. And I tried to use that to my advantage in the marketing. But yeah, that's more or less what it was. I gave the little intro here. So like, this is what pulls up when you pull up the website. We haven't released the website yet, but if you're curious, you can go to jitworld.xyz and it will come up on any browser. And more or less, it's just, welcome, hello, welcome to JIT World. We're happy you made it to this point. Now you might be wondering, what is a JIT? It's a friend, someone you can rely on, and more importantly, a person who has your back. With Florida roots, this community serves an extension of our home, and we hope you enjoy your time with open arms, the JIT. So again, this project wasn't supposed to be something that was going to be groundbreaking. I wasn't trying to, break different barriers in the space and come up with something completely new. This was just completely from my experience only, and me trying to understand, how these projects, work, and what needs to be done to, effectively create a project. So going on here, this is where I kind of started. So this is how the JITs were made up. So I essentially went on Figma. If you guys have not used Figma, it's an awesome resource. It has, edit abilities on there, and it's free, is just awesome. And you can do a lot of cool things with it. So I essentially came up with different layers. So I planned out what the background would look like, what the different bodies would look like, the hats, the eyes, the mouth. And from there, I went in and I coded, the different things. I used Metaplex for you guys interested. You can go on there. It's free. You just download it on your thing. You just apply it to whatever code builder you're using, and you can just pump out a bunch of these NFTs. So this is what it came out with. I came out with a number of 1,111. With that, I was going to have some JIT specials. So that would be, you can't really see it here, but there was like ones that were just letter JIT. So those just have like an exclamation point, or like a W. So those would be coined like WJIT or like LJIT or something like that. So more or less just to give more exclusive NFTs other than the ones that are here. But also there's ones that are like partnerships. So like Blockchain Miners Club would have their own NFT. It would just be like a blank JIT with their Blockchain Miners Club logo. So different ways to kind of target different people within the space and hopefully get more traction. But this is more or less what it is. Again, this art is not like hard, like it wasn't too hard to put this together. It really was just all about like copy and pasting, coming out with a basic outline and something that was easy to do. But yeah, so we'll go into kind of this next part here. So the roadmap, I wanted to include this so you guys can see kind of how like a common format. This is kind of like bare bones basic for any type of NFT project you create. You kind of need to follow these steps. And there's a lot of extra things you can do, but like I said, this is just like the bare bones kind of necessary things that I believe every kind of project should have. So phase one, you'll see just establishing a presence. You definitely want to establish your outlets and make sure that you're getting your name out there, if that's what you want to do, or if you just want to do it personally, just determine where your outlets will be and what you're targeting. Next, you'll need to form the community. So I particularly use Discord. You don't need to use Discord. Discord is very common for the space. So within NFTs, Discord and Twitter are the top two. So a lot of these, projects will have their forward-facing profile on Twitter, and then their actual like community and different things going on Discord. But again, you don't need to do that. It's kind of just up to you on where you want to like actually form the community and what interactions these holders will have once they do have that. So going off that, like a lot of these projects, once you are a holder on Discord, they have different bots where you can verify your NFT, and then you get access to exclusive parts within the Discord. And that's a perk that a lot of these have. So when I was talking about before with these kind of alpha groups that give out this, information, that is what they'll do to kind of, they target people when they come into the space, but then you verify your NFT to get access to the, the true information that you bought the NFT for. So going off that, it's important in phase three, I believe, to make the funds public. You should definitely, in this space where everything's transparent and it lives on the blockchain, people know like where the profits and all that are going. So say this, becomes big time, which I hope, if you guys are embarking on this journey of making an NFT, which I think is, definitely a cool concept and something that I think people should do to just get the experience. Nothing has to be a home run. It's just, truly for the experience, but it's important to, make sure that in your roadmap, you definitely include, where these funds are going, how the profit distributions are, because ultimately, if people really wanted to know, they could know because it's all in the blockchain. So I made sure to make that part of phase three. And from that, I made sure to create in phase four, the creation of the DAO. So being a decentralized autonomous organization, more or less, you verify your NFT and you get access to this DAO. So the DAO is where people will be able to vote. So similar to how I talked about before, where BMC uses their NFT and every month you're able to vote on how these Bitcoin miner profits are spent. It's same here. So you would have the DAO, and then through that, say I wanted to kind of vote, which I talk about in phase five here, is I want the community to make the rest of the roadmap. So there's, future initiatives I listed there. But I want them to have a say. So what I would do is I would then form the DAO. All holders would verify their NFT. A simple program, Snapshot is common. It's just an application that will read your wallet. It scans how many NFTs you have, is the number of votes you have, and then you get to vote on whatever vote's going on. So very simple there. And it's something that I think is very important for all NFTs to have. In the beginning, when I first started, when I talked about my social snake scam, a DAO wasn't part of any roadmap. A DAO in the beginning was something that was, new to the space. And a lot of people were like, oh, wow, they're forming a DAO, where now it's kind of a prerequisite. We're at the point now in the space where it's, just, simple. And this is, keep in mind, this is only a few months over time. So it's constantly, being adapted, and new things are coming out over time. So going off that, like I said before, the plan for the future, there's a bunch of future initiatives I listed here. Them being, like 3D voxels. So like a 3D voxel would then be used in the metaverse. So like Sandbox or Decentraland or one of those. So your NFT would then be turned into a, like I said, 3D voxel that you can use there. JIT World Media, just, further establishing the IP, the JIT lore, coming out with like some type of, write-up that explains the different traits of all these JITs and how they, factor into our vision over time. And then the JIT marketplace, similar to what, BMC was doing, where you could, buy and sell different things on their marketplace. Just a similar thing like that. A common thing that, I didn't touch on before with BMC because they didn't have that factored within their space. But for a lot of these alpha groups, what's common is that they'll give out whitelist spots. So people will pay to get access to, being able to automatically buy these new upcoming NFTs without having to, grind and put in the work, spend hours and hours in these discords like people do, trying just to get access to be able to mint the actual thing, hoping that it, when it sells out, it's going to go to the moon and they can, get a good profit on it. So that's where a lot of these kind of alpha groups will go and try to make more money on, is they'll make these marketplaces and they'll get access to a lot of these, whitelist spots. And the other project, the incentive for them is that, these people that have access to these, big time alpha groups will, be, positive people within their community that they would want to have. And that's pretty much it. So I'm open to any questions you guys have. Again, feel free to connect on LinkedIn. I put my LinkedIn there. If you're interested in JIT World, feel free to reach out. Again, I hope this was, somewhat insightful and you got some good NFT knowledge from it. And either, Web3, Web2, it doesn't matter, reach out, whatever. I'm happy to talk. But that's it. Thank you again, Professor. Thank you for letting me, give this presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Thank you very much, John. It was very impressive. So as you see, John had an interesting experience. So losing some money on the spam project, and he tried to learn. So he spent some time working in the NFT blockchain company, and then also increased his knowledge in the Solana space. And now he's kind of entrepreneur. He has his own project. So questions from you guys, from John. So you have his contact information. I'm going to share the video, and also there is one student over Zoom. I'm not sure if he has questions, but anyway, I don't see any question. Thank you very much. It was very good. I'm so proud of you. So John was one of our best students. He's still in Clark, so you can just reach him in case you have questions about how to be more proactive in this space. Thank you very much. Take care. So I go for regular teaching today. Again, please keep in touch and keep me posted about your progress, man.
Yeah, for sure. Again, thank you for having me. Anyone, you guys don't feel, scared to reach out. I'm happy to talk to anyone. And, I hope you guys enjoy the class. I think this is super cool that professors, finally getting a class on for this. So I'm happy to come on again at any time, Professor, to chat. And yeah, thank you.
Cool. Take care. So, bye. So I go for today class. Okay, let's about NFT business and marketing aspects. So I think you guys easily relate yourself, especially it was John's first role in this domain used to work in the marketing of that NFT project. So for being successful in the marketing trade, you need to have good information, and based on the information that you get from the market, you make informative decision. One of them is about why you will buy NFTs. First of all, NFTs buyers pool has an interesting socio-economic characteristics. One of them, usually they're educated people, they should know about computers, internet, NFTs. So they need some certain amount of knowledge to be able to buy or trade NFTs. So, and you have two types of major buyers. One of them are investors. They just buy for return on their investment, maybe just keeping their wealth against inflation, and they may not be even interested in NFT. They just look at the return on the investment. The second could be some collectors. Generally speaking, the people who are buying NFTs usually 18 to 44. So these knowledge gives you, if you are, is there anybody from marketing here? So you are marketing. So have you had any courses how to plan a marketing campaign when you have the buyer's characteristics?
Buyers is important things that you need to research. On the different stage, different generation have a different purpose. They like different things. Some of them maybe just invest to the old things like save fund. Not some want to the high returns, the bank, so they will try something things like this.
Yeah, so in marketing, this information gives you some plans how to get more customers, how to sell more, how to have more income. Also, just looking, the market is growing fast in Asia. So if you look at this distribution of generations, so men, women, Gen Z, millennials, Gen X, and baby boomers. So baby boomers is right after World War. Gen X, I assume, between boomers and millennials, and after millennials we have Gen Z. So I think you guys are the Gen Z. So you are from 1990 to 2010. So you can see still there is higher interest in buying physical items, collecting physical items than NFTs. But as you see, millennials, people who are in the age of about 30, 40s, maybe there's more chance of buying NFTs than other ages. So, but if you're in Gen Z, maybe you expect maybe in 10, 20 years, your generation would be something similar to millennials, and more people from your generation would buy NFTs. And also, if you compare men and women, buying NFT in men is there's more. If you divide physical items percentage by NFTs, still proportionately men are more interested buying NFTs. So these are again some data that helps you to make a better marketing plan. So maybe if your NFT creation are more female friendly, maybe you need to just assume that you need to do more marketing that space, because maybe female are less interested by NFTs. But also you can see that maybe if you target millennials, you have more chance of selling your NFTs. So these are just helps you to have a bit different marketing campaign based on your customer types. In terms of popularity, collectibles is still the most popular one. then art NFTs, utility, game, metaverse, and sports. So sports and metaverse might be very new. Maybe next year we have more NFTs in these two category, but still collectibles are the highest amount of NFTs. Again, let's say if you want to sell more in the collectibles, and if your NFTs are collectibles, you have a tough time of selling because there's a big market. You should be on top of the market. So many people are in the collectibles. Then art. So if you are making art NFT, it should be something amazing because there's so many artists are making art NFTs. In terms of value, just look at the market. So almost 60% are between $100 to $1,000. Then maybe 70% less than $100. And let me just jump to the most expensive NFT, more than 1 million, but almost 0%, 0.0001%. So having said that, maybe just show two different things. One could be most of people who buy NFTs, they're less than $1,000. Maybe there is not that much more market on that. Or in the other hand, just show you how people are think how they decide what the worthiness of NFTs. So how much they should invest. So as you see, right now still there's not that much of expensive NFTs in terms of proportion of the market. So look at this future prediction from 2021 to 2026. So 43% of the growth in NFT market will be in Asia. Everything from Middle East to Far East and also Australia and New Zealand. So maybe if you are want to be in NFT area and then you're just learning, so expect maybe 1 or 2 years, you have your NFT project. Maybe if you target the people from this socioeconomic characteristics, from this geographical region, you have more chance of selling your NFTs because a big part of the growth in NFT market will come from this region. And still, collectibles will be the majority of NFT market. Then sport, art, and art. So there's a expectation of high growth in arts and sports NFTs. So by the way, I'm not sure if it's compulsory, but usually students in the School of Business, in the master level, they take business intelligence and visual analytics with me. So you learn how to make these figures. So I teach you two softwares. One of them is Tableau and another Power BI. So making these figures would be very easy in those softwares. But anyway, so let's look at this question. How interested are you in the concept of any NFT through playing video game? 29% said interested, 28% very interested. So since there's high interest on getting NFT through the games. What, if anything, most interests you in the concept of any NFT through playing the video games? Any NFT by playing? So it's still a big portion of that. So it seems gaming NFT will be a big thing in the near future. And you can look at the proportion of genders in different countries. So UAE seems like majority in the male are interested or curious. You can say Indonesia, Nigeria, Israel. US is a small tie. Then you can reach the country like South Africa, Brazil, Mexico, which is the females are more curious in this market. Again, if you're targeting these geographical regions, maybe you expect in the future there is more female in this market. Maybe you hear some NFTs that are more suitable for female. If you are like NFTs are more interested in the people of these regions, like seems Mexico, Brazil, South Africa, UK, and France. So I took this figure from Gemini Global State of Crypto in 2022 is one of the most, at least comprehensive, for me sounds more accurate. So in terms of, if you compare 2021, 2022, so it's still made, there is more made in this market, but it seems it's getting equal interest of these two gender. So it used to be majority made in 21, but in 22, there is a lesser gap between these two genders. If you look at the figure, so almost the same. So most of the buyers are from 18 to maybe 44, the millennials, and almost similar for 222. So look at this question. Why? So do you guys know what the story of this painting? I think somebody from UAE or Saudi paid $450 million to purchase this painting. But why they didn't just buy a? I mean, they didn't just print the picture and put it on the wall. And if you answer this question, it's something similar why people pay NFT. So instead of buying NFT, maybe they could have a JPEG file and just have on their computer and see that. So why people pay $450?
If I have money, I can create something for myself, not free something.
So your friend is talking about the money side, which is correct. She said, so if I don't have that much of money, yeah, if I'm very interested in art, maybe just print it and just put it on my wall. And maybe from distance, nobody can recognize this is the real painting. If you put in if I put in my home, everyone knows it's fake. But I'm just speaking, let's say there's a white wall and I put both of them next to each other, maybe from a distance, it's very hard to recognize which one is the original one. So let's, yeah, money could be one, but let's say you have unlimited amount of money. Let's say you are Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. Yeah, feeling of ownership. Yeah, you want to own something. What else do you think? And you want to see, you want to be from, so he wants to be recognized of being somehow somebody rich who affords such a thing. And he also talked about a specific brand like Gucci, Prada. In some countries, even having iPhone means you are from a different socioeconomic group. Because some countries it looks very expensive. So. But the differences between iPhone and this picture, so if you pay $1,000 to buy iPhone, maybe in next 3 years, it just worth like $200. It loses the value, but these unique things, they gain more value. So I don't know about the previous price of this painting, but sometimes people who buy art, they're looking at inflation and they think, okay, if I put my money in the bank, maybe interest rate would be 2 or 3%. But if they keep it maybe for 10 years, maybe the interest rate would be about 10, 15%. So they have on top of having feeling of ownership and showing off that they are belonging to rich people, also it's kind of investment because it's a very unique thing. There is no two of this picture. So I think this picture was painted like 600 years ago or 500 years ago, and there's just one. So usually for such a thing, you expect you gain more value during the years. So maybe in 10 years, it will be $2 billion. Who knows? Could be something in NFT, not exactly. So NFTs, so if you remember last class, we took a picture and put it as NFT and put in the random blockchain ledger. So in that blockchain, each NFT pictures would be unique, because their hash would be different. Through that blockchain, you have feeling the ownership having something unique, but it may not necessarily out of that space. So just in one blockchain, an NFT could be very unique. So investing for incentive for buying NFTs and a model for investing in art, conversion from physical world to the digital world, so digital art, storing value against inflation, and investment for gain. So your friend talks about open sea. This is also open oceans. So the major reason that I brought this topic, this session, is how to be successful in NFT market. Let's say if somebody search for flower, you want to have your flowers to be in the first page. It's something like Google search. Usually people look at the first page, even first half of a page. So how, if you meet an NFT, it will pop up in the first pages. So people may look at it and they may buy it. So, or maybe if you look at the collection, so your collection will be among the tops. So the topic of today is for this purpose. So how to be successful in NFT market. Also, John talked about his NFT project in Solana. So hopefully if you have time today, we start learning more on Solana. So last time we had a small experience. So you send some Solana to some Solana, or maybe one or two software wallet address. So today we start more, and hopefully, if you have time next week or a week after that, you will be able to make NFT Solana blockchain. But anyway, so this is topic for today: how to be successful in this market. So let's open OpenSea. Say something. Let's say what you want to search for. Sneakers. So if you search for a sneaker, something comes first. So many people created the sneakers. Oh, something right. Yeah. I'm not sure what happened today, but I think today OpenSea has some issues. Let me search again. Sneakers. Let me go again. Let me just open the first one. So look at the views, like 1,200 people viewed, 25 people liked it. It's a very new project. There is not that much of offer. So you see the account activity. There's some offers. And it's recognized, so you see a tick sign. So all of them could be effective. So these marketplaces like OpenSea, they try to avoid discrimination. So they have some algorithms that pick NFTs. So when you search for NFT, if you could have, maybe you could have more likes, maybe more people visit your NFT. Then we search for your NFT, your NFT group, maybe your NFT come up at the first results. So if I go at the bottom, how many projects? It doesn't end, just goes forever. So, but anyway, who cares about like image number 1,000, 2,000? So there is, look at the items, 269,000, almost 270,000 NFTs related to sneakers. But I don't think if you even too much interested in the sneakers, you don't check after 100. Maybe you just check the first one. How to be successful? So interestingly, it's similar to software roles. Basically, you should have good keywords. For example, when you describe your project, it should have keywords of, for example, about the sneaker, more views, good likes, maybe auction time. If it's more time on the auction time, or the auction time is ending, maybe there's more chance of picking by these marketplaces because they want to get rid of old NFTs. And you need to know how to draw traffic to your NFT items and how to promote your NFT collections. I don't spend too much today on OpenSea because today I faced some, like what you have seen, some. Just go through the project if you are interested in NFTs, and in this class, hopefully, if you have time, we create some NFTs. But for example, let's look at the sports. These are the first NFTs. Some of them looks professional, good looking, NBA, but look, Touch or Crypto Dunks came earlier than NBA. So it should be some reasons. In this, let's see, I'm not sure how many, yeah, they don't show how many collections they have in the sport part. But again, if you want to be, if you have interest in NFT space, just go to this website, OpenSea, there's more than that, but again, just spend time, see what other people doing. Let me see how much of auction time is. I think the website has some issues, or they just updated, because I don't see that much more information that I used to see. But anyway, this is one good major website for selling your NFTs. So let's talk about traditional marketing strategy and compare it with the NFTs if it works in the NFT domain. So traditionally, you get data from customer and products. I think you had in your courses that then you run some analytics on top of the data. Then you decide about media portfolio, and then after your marketing campaign, you have some tools for assessing your marketing performance, maybe return on investment, or how much do you get per investment, something like that. But one issue here is majority of sellers and buyers on NFT space or blockchain in general, they are anonymous. So you don't know who is buying, what is their socioeconomic characteristics. So some is more challenging. Also, there is good amount of research saying that younger customers avoid ads, high income avoid ads, more educated people avoid ads. But NFT investors are younger, more educated, and have money to invest in this domain. So it seems this method of traditional marketing may not that much successful, given the characteristics of buyers in the NFT area. And you can correct me. I haven't studied marketing, so maybe you have more knowledge than me on this space, but I have some limited knowledge on marketing. So if you didn't like some part of it, just listen.
But you maybe have a Facebook, have a social media. They also give you some information. Why we like it like this? And you couldn't avoid it. You need a review, say it. So
yeah, but
you way to review.
Yeah, you're totally right. But for example, like the videos that I show you in the class, I paid to YouTube to avoid ads. So just I'm in the millennials age domain.
But you also pay. You need to pay the money.
Yeah, I pay the money to avoid them, but so it seems if somebody try to do online marketing or online ads to YouTube, I never saw them because I already paid to avoid them.
Another example, where you couldn't avoid it. You couldn't buy it.
Yeah, exactly. But also there's some interesting thing about Google, Facebook, and Instagram, whatever, Twitter. So they have some limitation on NFT ads. So if you want to if you even have unlimited money, if you want to advertise through Google Ads, Facebook, Instagram, you need to have some specific license. They are not easy on advertisement of securities, NFTs, cryptos. But let's say if you're a dentist and you want to advertise your business, you can easily do it through Instagram. If you're a restaurant owners, but if you're a sophisticated NFT developer, it's very hard to convince Google, Facebook, Instagram to advertise for your NFT project. There is some challenge, but you're definitely right. Okay, so have you had marketing funnel? Have you seen this courses? Yeah. So this is the marketing funnel. So in order to, when you face your customers, you have different steps: awareness, consideration, conversion, or buying. So here, just in NFT, maybe conversion means buying, loyalty, and advocacy. So people who support your product and would be loyal maybe to your NFT project. So for awareness, you are facing most amount of people. So there's some general tools in the traditional online market. Even online marketing is not that much old, but we call it tradition. So the speed in this digital era is so fast. But anyway, so YouTube, Instagram, social media influencer, TV ads, airplane ads. Have you seen airplane ads in the United States? So they hire some small airplanes. They just print a large banner and they just hang on their tail, and they fly in a low altitude or low height, and so you can, when you watch the sky, you can see those ads. I've seen a lot in the United States anyway. So in the consideration, so people get interested in your maybe NFT collection. So you can see, your general online general products. So Amazon promotion, Google Ads, SEO. These are the tools. When they in the conversion or the buying phase, still as a promotion will pay help you guys. So for example, they search to buy an NFT project. Again, sorry, the NFT is just for traction. Let's say they want to buy a shoe. So if you pay Google to put your shoe online marketing store on the first link, if they click on it, they come to your store and buy it. Or in Amazon, if you sometimes you can, I think you already faced that. So let's say you want to search for a specific product. Some people paid promotion to Amazon to put their products on top of the search. And after the conversion or buying ends, customer relationship management software, loyalty programs could come in. So you want to keep your customers. Maybe they come back and buy more from you. Or let's say you might give them some loyalty program, maybe some discounts. So if they come back, buy more from you, give them some more discounts. So the marketing funnel in NFT could be a little different in terms of tools because there is some legal limitation in terms of advertising, paying Google Ads or Facebook, Instagram. So you need to have some certain licenses that they are very tough on marketing there. Also, the data of buyers and also sellers may not be always available. So if you go to OpenSea, which I showed you, you see there is some collections, some NFTs, but you don't know who created them. And also you don't know who bought them, just see like Ethereum address or Solana address who sent some money to the art creator. So we have those kind of limitations. But again, in the awareness part, influencer groups like Telegram, Discord, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter could be very useful, but you don't pay them. So let's say you pay an influencer to advertise for NFT or crypto, or you may hire some people to be active in the Telegram groups. They post something, or in the Facebook groups, WhatsApp, TikTok. So some people make some videos and you can just share some funny, entertaining videos. In the consideration step, so again, social media for engaging people, and also a website that put information on your NFT project could be very useful. And your website also gives a good role in the conversion, or website or web pages. For example, you put good information about your NFT project or like NFT item on OpenSea. So when people read that, they can understand what is your intention. And also, as I already said, so if you have more views, more like, more traffic, maybe when people search for certain NFT items, it comes up from the first on top of the search. And in the loyalty advocacy space or step, you can have some maybe private sale or discount. So if people who bought your NFTs, maybe you can say them that I know that you're interested in my NFT project. I have a new item. So you're the previous buyer, so you have access to buy those items with discount or earlier than others. Questions so far? Okay, if there is no questions, let's have a break, maybe for 20 minutes, and then we start from there. Okay, everyone, let's continue our discussions on marketing. So let's see how it could be effective in the social media. So generally speaking, we want to know how to optimize our money and time that we spend on the social media. Yeah, based on what I just told you, because of the domain and also the current restrictions, social media and groups is a major way of advocating your projects and getting awareness, consideration, and maybe some raising interest to buy your product. So these are major social media platforms: Twitter, Telegram, Reddit, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, which is for, especially TikTok is for younger audience. Your own website. So, for example, your friend website was jeep.xyz, Discord, YouTube. And also there is some regional social media. For example, VK in Russia, WhatsApp in India and Arab countries. And each region, you might have different social media that brings a lot of attention. Interestingly, I've looked at time slots of ads or campaign to Facebook. So it seems Saturday and Sunday are not that much interesting for advertising through Facebook. The best time of Monday to Friday, 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. Best days to post on Facebook, Tuesday to Fridays, and the worst day was Saturday. For some reason, if you post or be active on Saturday and Sunday to Facebook, you may not direct that much of attention. What about Instagram? It seems similar to Facebook, but on Saturdays you have also some good audiences. But the worst day on promoting your NFT project is Sunday. Monday to Friday might be the best days, somehow between maybe 10 a.m. to 2 3 p.m. Also in the Twitter, the worst days Sundays. Best time maybe between 9 to 10, 11, almost like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So since the weekend is not the good day for being active on social media, it's worse even for LinkedIn. So there's not that much of attention on Saturday and Sundays if you want to promote your NFT project through LinkedIn. So for Reddit, the best day to, through the world, Monday and Saturday are the best days. But in the US, Monday and Thursday are the best days to be active on Reddit. So TikTok, Thursday, 7 p.m. is the best spot. And early morning on Sunday, 11 a.m. Saturday, 4 p.m. Friday morning is the Tuesday and Wednesday, and late night on Monday. Again, some of them are not academical research, some of them are just, I look at some good websites, so, and they get, these statistics get updated, so if you want to promote your project and you want to put some posts on social media, please do your own research. These statistics might change. Also, if you look at the YouTube, Saturday, Sunday morning is the best time in the working days, maybe after 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. is the best time to be active on YouTube. And if you publish at that time, you will get more views. So what are the best practices? Being active, so for your NFT project, you need to post, comment, be active on hashtag, reshare other people, post. So there is some good courses. So if you just do your research, for example, social media marketing through Twitter, there's some, or Facebook, Instagram, you can find some good online courses. You need to engage with your followers. For example, John talked about their blockchain mining club project. So in their Discord, if you just go to check their Discord, they are very active. They ask for opinions from people who attend the project. And you can vote in their project. So for example, if they want to acquire new miners, so on and so forth. So this is some way of basically engaging your audience. Also, there is some general NFT groups. For example, Reddit NFT, Discord, or some Facebook groups. So these are some major social media groups. You can join and react on those groups. Thousands of people are part of them. So if you advertise on these groups, maybe people bring some discussions and bring some attention to your project. As you've seen, I've looked at the first NFTs when I search for, let's say, sneakers. It seems views is an important measure. So those like marketplace search engine would pick your project and put that as the first result. Let's look at this Reddit group. So people shared about new project, new NFTs, and new developments. So if there is some post about your NFT project, maybe it gets a good amount of views if they post it in such groups. So also my text mining is a good analytics technique. So hopefully you learn this MSK program. So how to analyze hashtags, how to infer information from looking at the people posts about some certain NFTs. For example, you can see what kind of attention an NFT project brings in Twitter. So there is some certain techniques. You can read people's tweets. It's Python code and getting good information about what are the issues or what you are talking about the project. Also, we have a course of visual analytics, so you need to learn how to design professionally, how to be simplistic and creative, draw more attention to the project. More importantly, also you can find other group, social media as your benchmark and see what other people do. For example, let me just check some of them. For example, I can find friends. This is. I'm picking the John NFT project, so the Twitter. Maybe look at their design, what kind of post they put, how to engage with the community. The cutting of Elon Musk. Also, look at their link tree. So if you click on here, you can see all the links related to project. For example, collections, miners, website, Discord, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So they are almost everywhere. What else? Maybe CryptoKitties. Frankly speaking, have good designs, so we can see what kind of post they put, what is the description of each project, how they engage with the communities. So these are some of their stories, like they were in New York 2019. So anyway, we can look at the other people's social media and benchmark from them and see what lessons you can get from their project. Also, there are some websites that provide good services. For example, how to interact with the social media, how to post. Sometimes they give you a schedule, and they just let you know when you post, and also they have some that are free. I think especially later.com Twitter fall. I think they're free for 30 posts a day, so which is quite a lot. Let's go to Twitter fall. So one part of being active in the social media is just engaging with other people, following other people, liking, sharing their posts. Here in the search, I search for NFT. I'm just popping up new posts in Twitter related to NFTs. I just keep in mind already logging through this tool. Maybe I'm getting interested on this post. I can hover my mouse. I can direct message, follow, reply, retweet. So let me just retweet. That's it. So this tool helps me to manage my NFT Twitter account. So in case of sharing, putting comments, following people, so on and so forth. On top of it, there is some press release distribution services. So these are paid services like Ian, Presswire 24/7, press release, newswire, PR ground, and also here I have a list of all of majority of these press release distribution services. So they have some channels. When you pay to them, they just promote your website or web pages through their channel. So these are a list of those paid services. For example, Ian Presswire charges you starting from $100. Target specific media outlets and offers SEO, RSS, social media posting, send and distribution, media monitoring services. They reach very specific audience and also distribute internationally. So basically, they help to promote your NFT project. So there are some some media, some web pages. So they try to direct more views through your NFT web page. Questions? Another way of advertising for your NFT project is through publishing major domain website. There is some major websites related to NFT and crypto. Most of people who are active in this era check those websites. For example, let me just open one of them. For example, La Liga NFT on CoinMarketCap. So in CoinMarketCap is one of the major websites in NFT, and you see here they are talking about certain NFT project, La Liga partnership with Sorare. Sorare is the name of NFT project. So even talking a little bit about the project in these major websites bring more traffic to your website. Or for example, this one. I'm looking at the NFT plazas. So here they are talking about Unity and Gala games. So if you want to be active in those websites, usually it needs some good knowledge. You need to write a good article and just give it to them, so and convince them to accept your article. So it could be quite challenging. Or maybe another way of promoting your NFT project, you can reach influencers. So these are some big influencers, NFT influencers. I just know one of them. Gary, like a $2 million. So it's one of the NFT promoters. So you can reach them, and I put the link of my reference. So they put some information, contact information here. You can join them, pay them, and see what can, how effective are they for your NFT project. Or there is some websites that do contact for you. So these websites have contact information of influencer. So the influencer doesn't just show you there are mega influencers, but there are also small influencers that these websites can help you to connect to them. Again, it might need a little bit of budget. So usually, if you're just started in this domain, it may not work for you. But even if you have a good amount of budget to start to promote your NFT project, just keep in mind you always need to audit the performance of your marketing. For example, let's say you gave 100K to a student and he promotes your project in the last 2 weeks. So if you spend 100K, maybe you expect to earn $2 million. If it brings $1 million more into your project, you might think it's worth of paying to them or not. So again, either you go directly, indirectly, you might use some social media marketing platform. Still, you need to audit your progress, just see what is your rate of investment. So when you pay money to those companies or this influencer, and then your indicator, your performance indicator is about how much money you bring from your investment. So you don't want to waste too much money. Let's say if you pay them and then they don't bring that much of attention or traffic to your NFT and you couldn't sell enough, then you can talk to them to see what's going on, what was wrong with their services and why your NFT wasn't that much successful. So Again, NFT ads might go two ways. I talk about some services or which usually are paid. But even for doing creating your NFT system, sometimes you need to pay professionals to make ads for you, or you do it yourself, especially in any phase of your project. So if you want to do by yourself, your ads needs to be simple, creative, and engaging. You can benchmark from interesting project, but keep in mind you shouldn't violate the copyrights. And also you can use free or paid aside videos, music, and images. These are some websites that I usually use, especially for your class PowerPoint. I usually use Pixabay and Unsplash. This gives me good amount of free images. Pexels is for free video, stock videos, then some is for free sound clips. Let me just open maybe Unsplash. Search for NFT. So as you see, it gives me some free stock pictures that I can use. Sometimes when you want to use the pictures, they ask you to put the reference, but anytime you can easily just download it. Another one, which I use a lot, is Pixabay. Let's check for airdrop. So that, for example, for airdrop, they have for free pictures, and also they are saying that you can go to iStock, which is a paid service, and you can pay for some images and just download from their website. Another one is Pexels. Let's search for nature. Video. So you can use this free video. I'm not sure if you can use it for your NFT project. So let me search for NFT. Let's see if they have free video. I think these are free. And the last, not least, is Ben Sound. Again, if you just start in making your own ads, still you need to just look at other people and benchmark from them. But again, copyright is important. But it's a good practice still for a small project like a class PowerPoint or your project PowerPoint. You can just use those websites and having no worries about the copyright or pay a ton of money to make your own PowerPoint or ads. So these are these are good tools for making your own advertisements or promotion videos when you don't have that much of budget. Okay, so questions? You have a question? Or just scratching your head?
Let's say like let's like so I have two questions. One question like within movies where
Movies? Yeah, you can.
okay, let's say I buy a open scene and I want to sell it in another market. Like that's what regulation, right? So I can just buy it in another market.
I haven't done it, but I think technically it's possible. Let's try. I haven't done it before. So I haven't, for example, you buy from an NFT marketplace and sell it somewhere else. I think technically, if there are, for example, if you that NFT is on, let's say, Ethereum blockchain, and you can, but I'm not sure if there was marketplace let to do that. Let me do my own research. But a good question. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes to just check these websites. Maybe you can see if there are good resources for you, even for your personal projects or NFT projects. Then we go to the next topic, which is working more on Solana network. Okay, so we have started about Solana last week. So basically, you might remember make a simple public key, private key wallet and send some coin. Today we do more applications. Again, as a summary, Solana, Ethereum, and those kind of blockchains are a smart contract, which means on each block we can put some conditions like if-else condition. So on each block we can code, versus on Bitcoin blockchain, you did something. We did a small blockchain through Python. We just put the transaction information, but in a smart contract, we can put some code on blockchain. So with this code, getting some outputs. Last week, we made a simple Solana airdropping. We airdropped some tokens on the wallet. Today, we make since from today we start to do a new project, and we create some tokens, and we send some token from your own computer, from your own project to a wallet over Solana. So let me just read these 4 jargons. First of all, we use Solana libraries. So it should be plural, not singular. Just means, if you might remember in the Bitcoin blockchain that I did through Python, although I use so many packages, I will still use so many code. But here we use Solana packages, so it just makes those development easier. On top of that, Solana is developed through Rust. So Rust, if I oversimplify Rust, is a modern C programming language. So it just means it has some potential of C programming, which is a lot faster. So it's a very fast programming language. Again, it could be one of the reasons that Solana network is very fast. So in Solana, token creating means creating the structure of your token. Minting token means making a new copy of your token. So when I say we want to create a token, it just means we create a structure of token. Like, for example, your maximum capacity, or burning some tokens. When I say mint, means just make a new copy from the structure. And token transforming means just sending coins. Sorry, there's a typo. Sending token to wallet. Okay, this is a prerequisite for Windows users. You need to update your ws.exe. So the way that you do, just copy this code, ws.exe.-- go to your command prompt, open your CMD, right click, and open as administrator. And just type it here. So for me, it's updated. It doesn't take that much of time. But for people who use first time working with WSL, so that might take a little bit of time. Mac user you don't have to do that. So basically, what I do. So here we are installing an instance of Linux on Windows. So on Windows, you can have a subsystem of Linux, and you can work with the Linux core through Windows. Mac core is similar to Linux, so not exactly, there's some similarities, so you don't have to install it. So you can directly code through your commands prompt. So for Windows users, now you need to install an instance of Ubuntu on your system. This is a Linux version, or as a flavor of Linux. Just select ws-exe-install-d Ubuntu, copy, and paste it here. So as you see, I already installed Ubuntu, but if it's first time, it might take a little bit of time. I wait for the people who are using Windows. So so you guys can install Ubuntu. I check your computers if you have questions. Okay. So for people who had difficulties in installing Solana, please go Google how to install WSL on Windows. You might face some issues. For example, it said your Windows need to be updated. If you couldn't do it automatically through ws-install, maybe you need to do it manually. I think some places teach you how to do that. But basically, we are installing Linux on Windows. Because Solana is developed for Linux developers. So if you do on Windows, you might face some errors. It's the reason we try to use WSL. But anyway, if you be able to have if you be able to update your WSL or Windows sub Linux, then do ws.exe install Ubuntu. So you will be able to install Ubuntu. But again, it's not necessary for Mac users. So here I put some commands for being able to install Solana development environment on your system. You can copy paste from PowerPoint, but I also put Solana installation text document here. So it's better to copy paste from this one, which for some reasons I have some difficulties. That's funny. So it's just, so let me just see something. So please copy and paste these comments inside your Ubuntu. Basically, first you update the apt-get. Then we install NVM. So people who have Mac, please copy and paste this command -with num NVM. I want to see what you can see. So what you see after typing this command in your command prompt. Oh, let me just. It's on your Moodle tools. Can you see now? Yeah, Solana installation.txt. I think I zoom in, so probably times easier to see. Okay, do the remaining. Since that comment doesn't work for Mac. And this stuff. Yeah. Let me get it back tomorrow. So it's for next. Okay, since majority of people in the class have Mac, and even the people who has Windows, the Windows is not ready. So let's do another thing, which is important for our application. So, but tomorrow I check how to do it in Mac, and also if you have Windows users. So another, so she could install Ubuntu on Windows. So it's doable, but check yours tomorrow and let me know. So let's do another thing. Let's have a Solana wallet. So in order to have a Solana wallet, do this. Just Google Phantom wallet. So I'm using Chrome. If you use Internet Explorer, search for Internet Explorer. But so I'm a Phantom Chrome user. So I click on the first one. I already installed it, but if you don't have it, let me just remove and do it with you. So just add the extension. As you see, it's added quickly. So I'm just waiting for all of you to create a Phantom wallet. So just go, if you're using Internet Explorer, search for Phantom wallet in Internet Explorer. Chrome, Phantom wallet, Chrome. Yeah, there's a mobile. Yeah, right. So by creating this wallet, people can send you Solana or other tokens that are developed through Solana. And this is a decentralized wallet. For example, if I have a bank account and you want to send me money, so it goes through a bank, so or credit companies or like your debit card company. Anyway, there is a middleman which look at taking care of transactions. So let's say if I'm from Russia and you want to send money, you can, because somebody would block the transaction. Or I think there is a plan to keep all the Russian banks from SWIFT system. So if I was a Russian, which I'm not, and if I live in Russia, you cannot send me money. But through this decentralized wallet, there is no middleman, so you are free to send money or digital money or cryptocurrency to anyone. But just keep in mind that it should be legal. Maybe sometimes there is no banking system or there's some limitation, but still sending money may not be illegal. So we want to do legal things. We don't want to do illegal things. So anyway, the major part is these wallets are decentralized with some username and password or some codes. You can access to this wallet everywhere around the world. So have you been able to have install extension? Yeah? Everybody has the extension? Okay, click on create a new wallet. It asks you username and password. It's not even necessary. So this username and password is just accessing your wallet on this computer. But they are not the most important things. For example, if you leave your computer open, I cannot come and check your wallet. So I just pick any password that you want. I asked me it needs to be at least 8 characters. Okay, now the most important part of your wallet is secret recovery phrase. Now I'm clicking, I take my mouse over this part and you see my phrases. So if you see these phrases, you can access to my wallet and take all of them. So it's a good idea to share this phrase. And I'm going to delete this wallet soon. So I never use it anyway, but with this words, you can access to this wallet everywhere. And just keep in mind, early in the Bitcoin era, people are not that didn't pay attention to the Bitcoin, and there is a guy who forgot his words, phrase, password phrases, or secret phrases, and he lost millions of dollars because all of his Bitcoins in his account is he cannot access to them. So if you lose these words, the only way that you can access to your wallet is through your computer. And if you lose your computer and lose this codes, you lose your money. And there is no middleman. For example, if it was a banking system, if you lose your password, you can go to bank and show your ID. But in blockchain and cryptocurrency, this is the only way that you can access to your computer. So let me see if I take a picture. Anyway, so let me open. Okay, these are my phrases. Now, anytime I want to access to my wallet, I click here and I go to click on Phantom extension. Right now there is 0 Solana in my account. Again, for the next classes, we are working with the DevNet. DevNet means a development environment that you can make free NFTs, free tokens, and send freely to everyone. So the DevNet of Solana blockchain is for development purposes. Click on this icon, and here change your network to DevNet. So as you see now, it said you are currently on DevNet. It is a stand for development network. So it just means in the next classes that we create NFT and tokens, we are in DevNet. We want to just practice creating tokens, NFTs, and send it to each one. If you want to go back to mainnet, which you can use for real businesses, click on this icon, change network, and go to main. What is that? Mainnet. Okay, but how about those phrases? Let's say, and there is people also recommend to write those phrases on a piece of paper or put it in your safe in the bank. So if you want to make serious business in the cryptocurrency because you don't want to lose your money. But let's say my computer is burned and I wrote those codes on a piece of paper. Now, I have to remove this. Okay. Let's say this is a brand new computer and now I want to access to my wallet. Here I go to Google for Phantom Wallet Chrome. I add it again. Again, this is a practice I want to show you how to access to your wallet in the new computer. Now, I would say I already have a wallet, and these 12 words are these 12 words. Now, if I put these 12 words here, I can access to my wallet. First was attend, little soap. Place effort cushion. No, it's a very unsafe way of storing because I'm also sharing this video over YouTube, so everybody has this code can access to my wallet. Recipe. Shoulders above. Risk use point. Does it ask me to make a new password? Now I have my wallet back. This is 0 Solana. So as you see, you need to save these words in a very secure place if you want to make a real business in cryptocurrency. can have a wallet through exchange companies like Binance, Coinbase.com. So still, they are not fully decentralized. This is under control of some people. But these wallets, like Phantom, they're super decentralized. If everything is under your control, as long as you save this password. And there's a good example. If you Google, you can find people who lost millions of dollars because they forgot this phrase. Okay, we are almost done today. So what we do, people who use Windows, please learn how to install WS on your system. It might have some security issues or some update issue. At least one of your friends in the class could install it, so it's doable for you guys. For the Mac users, let me find a Mac tomorrow to see how to do it over Mac. But frankly speaking, in Mac should be easier because Mac and Linux has a lot of similarities. So if you development on Linux and Mac shouldn't be too different from each other. Okay, thank you very much for tonight. Please take care and see you on next Thursday.